In 2020, California experienced its worst wildfires in state history. Michigan dealt with unprecedented floods from abnormally heavy rains, and Arizona hit record-setting temperatures of sweltering heat. Over the course of this apocalyptic-type year, our negative externalities are starting to catch up with us, and it hasn't exactly been pretty. And while the president alone can't stop or reverse any of these anthropogenically induced environmental crises, their administration does have the power to at least shift the trajectory. Obama did so by announcing his 2015 Clean Power Plan. Nixon did so by establishing the Environmental Protection Agency. It is therefore up to us, as voters who can air our grievances using our ballots, to collectively decide whether we'll take action or continue our complacency. Hence, here are the stances of both major party candidates on critical environmental policies at stake for this upcoming presidential election. Though signed nearly a decade apart, both the Clean Air and Clean Water Acts were forged together with the same basic premise: protect our environment from industrial pollutants. To achieve this, the Clean Air Act established national ambient air quality standards, which allows the EPA to identify, address, and regulate certain air pollutants it deems hazardous to public health. Such examples include lead, mercury, and benzene compounds, pollutants that are standard fixtures in large industrial power plants and refineries. Similarly, the Clean Water Act uses a national pollutant discharge elimination system to oversee and protect the quality of the nation's navigable waters. As dictated by the EPA, it is thus illegal to discharge any pollutant into U.S. waters unless granted permission to do so via an authorized MPDES permit. When asked about his environmental platform on the debate stage, President Trump asserted that he'd continue to prioritize the cleanest air and cleanest water if re-elected, but his past policies say otherwise. Effluent limitation guidelines have been significantly weakened. Studies analyzing storage tank spills on people's health were effectively dismissed, and a new EPA loophole is being exploited to freely contaminate groundwater. On the other hand, Democratic nominee Joe Biden promises to reduce greenhouse gas emissions as well as protect vulnerable watersheds from waste discharged by industrial factories. His aim is to ultimately preserve the integrity of the Clean Air Act and expand upon clean water infrastructure, with a particular emphasis on wetland restoration. Signed by Nixon on January 1, 1970, NEPA is widely considered to be the Magna Carta of U.S. environmental legislation. At its core, its goal was straightforward: improve transparency between the government and its citizens for proposed federally funded projects like dams, buildings, and highways. Specifically, the Act mandates that the government takes special consideration of the environment through environmental assessments and environmental impact statements. EAs, a standard for every proposal, determine whether the upcoming federal project will significantly affect its surrounding ecosystem. EIAs then analyze the consequences of said impacts, if necessary. In the eyes of Trump's administration, both procedural provisions seem to be nothing more than bureaucratic red tape. During his first term, he successfully sped up the environmental review process, shortened strict page limits, and closed off any additional opportunities for public comments and rebuttals. Conversely, Biden vows to roll back Trump's dismantling of NEPA and invest $2 trillion on strengthening new and existing environmental policies. Most notably, he intends to incorporate feedback from local communities who live within potential zones of construction. In doing so, Biden's team has made environmental justice and sustainability a focal point of their campaign, a stark contrast to the sitting president's pro-industrial platform.